The final percentages of students in a math class are given below. Use Excel to find the mean and standard deviation. So we have 10 scores. I'm going to put those scores in a vertical column. I think it's easier to do it that way. I don't know if it matters. And I'm going to find the mean. So the first thing I need to do is click on the cell where I want my answer to appear. And then I'm going to go up to formulas, more functions, statistical, and down to average, because average and mean are synonymous. Now I want A1 through A10. So notice how I clicked on A1 and I dragged my cursor all the way down to A10 so that all values are in a circulating green box. And I click OK. You can also just hit enter if you'd like. And my mean is 0.8121. I don't have any rules here on what I'm rounding to for these problems, so I'll just leave it as is. Recall that on the home button in Excel, you have these two buttons here that will allow you to either expand or go down to the nearest tenth, hundredth, thousandths, whatever. So you can use these two to add more decimals or take them away if you need to round to a certain value. Now for your standard deviation, again, formulas, statistical, and we're going to go all the way down to the S's, and we are going to use stat dev S. We use S because we are dealing with a sample. Okay, so the sample, A1 to A10, and either enter or you can hit OK. Now, almost always we will use these S for sample. You use the P for population if your problem specifically says you have a population. If it doesn't specify, you really should probably use the S for sample. It gives a little bit more leeway and some variance in your answer. Now, because I have my mean rounded to 4 decimals, I'm going to go ahead and round my standard deviation also to 4 decimals. And you know what? I lied. Look at my next question goes to 3 decimals. Let's move both of these to be just 3 decimal places. So on the main screen of Excel, I'm just clicking this and it will automatically round for me. Now, for this case, it says we're going to use the empirical rule to answer the following question. What's probability a score is less than 0.683? Well, recall with the empirical rule, my mean is going to be in the middle. So I'm going to say my mean is here. Now 0.6 is less than that. So if I take my mean, 0.812, and I subtract my standard deviation of 0.129, I get a value of exactly what it says, 0.683. So I am looking for all values to the left of 0.683. Now, recall from the empirical rule that the mean cuts it in half. So all of the values to the right of the mean are 50% of your data. Now, between these two values, right, between your mean and one standard deviation either direction is 34%. So if you're looking for all the area to the left of the 0.683, that's everything else, because 50% is to the right of this and 34% is between these two values. So together, we know that on the to the right of 0.683 is 84%. So that means everything to the left is everything else. So 100% minus 84% is 16%. So when it says express your answer to the nearest thousandths, well, we're going to put it in decimal form. And 16% is 0.16. So to the nearest thousandths, I add an extra 0, and 0.160 would be my official answer.